Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 14th of October 2022. Sorry I wasn't very active yesterday. We have kind of scattered school holidays here where my youngest son is off this week and my eldest son is off next week. So we've, I suppose that's the joy of having two kids at two different schools. So we've been kind of kicking it with the little guy, buzzing around and just kind of having a lot of fun, really. But doing a lot of baking actually, which is quite nice. I found out how to make gluten-free raisin bread, but not in the way, you know, where you get bread that's gluten-free that falls to pieces. It's like a really nice recipe that actually works out pretty good. So if anyone's interested, let me know and I'll drop the recipe in the room. But today we're just going to run through these charts. We've had 3 trades on since the last one. One is open and 2 are closed. The 2 that are closed were losers, and the one is open is doing very, very nicely. So we'll just run through all of them and we'll get to those as they turn up. Okay, so this is the first one. This is the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. I don't think that's where we start. It's one over. It's a little bit windy. Hopefully it's not getting too noisy. Okay, so this is the first one. This is the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. Price is getting really close to this area just here. So if we look at this, I'm going to move the entry there. So we have a bit of a tighter entry. It's Friday, so we'll see if I let this ride. But that's what we have. So price is getting super close now. Not quite there. We tried to get there historically, but we did not manage to do anything. And so if we just look at this, let me turn on boom the software so it kind of does some boxing for us, hopefully from here. Okay, from here, the biggest one down here. So we are pretty close. If I would have probably taken this one here down to here. So that puts it like in a pretty shallow end, doesn't it? So this is really close. It's kind of in the cheaper side of the box to be selling, but we'll see. So it's probably not going to go all the way down here, so we'll just move it up to here. We'll leave that on there and see what happens. It looks relatively interesting for the time being, so we're not going to meddle too much with that. Let me move the microphone a little bit away from the door so it's not so windy. So that's what we have here. Let me get this to... Okay, so that we have there. So we'll leave that on there and see what happens. Still to be filled. We have the Aussie Franc. Let me enable it. Oh, hopping all over the place. There we are. We've got this one here, which I like. This one's pretty cool, but this is pretty far away from price. So we're just gonna just pop this on, like around here. Yeah, put it up there. So this is where we are, and we're pretty close to that. So I'm thinking that we'll probably get filled next week, maybe. We'll see. So still waiting. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Yeah, we missed our entry down here, which was a real blow. But we're really off to the races. We missed that by a couple of pips. The spread likely. So if we let that go over, we'll see. Yeah, look at that. We would have got filled if we would have left it alone. Look, this one didn't make it. Price spiked down, and then we left. So that's a blow, isn't it? Excuse me while I bite the pillow and scream. No, this happens a lot. So you have to breathe in and then breathe out and let that anger and aggression dissipate into the atmosphere. All right. That's frustrating as hell, isn't it? But that was a beautiful one. We took that off because, price has already been back there, so technically this area was tested. This happens. We would have got filled. We would have hit our target within 12 hours, half a day. So that would have been a real beauty. So never mind. What we do have, we have this. Above price. This is a very nice untested area of supply. I'm going to put that there. So I'm going to put that on. I like that because this is just like a really nice cutaway. This is above this mess. This is nice and clear, and this is a little bit messy. Just like this is nice and clear. Price went down and we left. That was stunning. Okay, so we're gonna put this one on. Boom. This is 4-hour supply. We're doing a pending sell at 97.18. The stop is at 97.95, 97.95. 1, 2. We'll leave it at that for the time being. So that looks nice. That was beautiful, that one there. Anyway, moving on. Australian dollar, Kiwi. So this one, we had this one on, and we got in here, price kind of just cut through it. I was expecting price to wriggle. Let me move this out of the way. Up and away from here, but we didn't even get a reaction. Price tore down. And the reason I like this one is because we had a reaction historically, and then price left, and again, and price left. And so, again, slap on the hand. This had been tested 2 times historically, but I still took the trade. So this is my tuition for being a know-it-all. So this is good. I'm quite pleased that I lost this trade because I learned a valuable lesson. And also, I mean, we were quite negative here in the histogram, but we didn't start painting these dots until we were here, until we were right around here. So this is also a telltale sign that price is likely going to start to slow down. But I prefer this one here, so I wouldn't have done anything here because of this. This is really messy. This is below, nice and clear. This is below this mess, so we're going to look to buy lower. Okay, so that was a loss. That was the first one. That was rather unfortunate. But the good thing about trading is if you stick to your rules, you know when you're going to get out when you're right, and you're also going to know when you're going to get out when you're wrong. And so if things go bad, then you lose the pre-calculated amount of your account, so no big deal. So yes, we'll wait for that to happen. Then we have the Australian dollar, American dollar, and that's just up here. Price is still pretty far away from it, and so nothing to do here for the time being. It's going to let that wriggle. CAD Franc, nothing to do here. This looks like a nice release just here, but it's pretty messy. So maybe on the 4 hour, it'll be a little bit clearer. Yeah, that's kind of well. Let me go down to the 1 hour. Yeah, well, I prefer this one here, but I'm not going to take it. I'll just put it there. We've got this. We got the sell zone, and a huge departure. Going back to the 4 hour bleeding edge. Zoom out a little. This is what we have. So that's pretty far away from price. So there's nothing really to do there. Just up here. Okay, so I mean, if you look at this, I mean, there's nothing to do. This is all traded out, uninteresting. This was an absolute beauty, and the reason it's a beauty is because we had the rally accumulation, and then boom, 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 3 pushes. Price came back to. I don't know why I didn't see that, but I didn't, and so that's okay. That's all right. We learn these lessons. The beauty about doing the analysis like this, how I'm doing this out loud, is I get to go through the exact same pairs and do the exact same thing over and over again. So I get to look at my mistakes after the fact. And so it's a beautiful learning experience. So that would have been a stunning trade. We didn't get it. That's okay. Next, CAD Japanese yen. Boom, where are we? So let's go to the daily. You've got this here, so you ask, well, why there? Looking at this, you got this. Price came all the way down, almost to the 70%. That's deep. We're also, what direction are we moving in? I mean, we're doing this, so we're moving higher. So selling is not necessarily a good idea. As a matter of fact, I'm no longer interested in selling. I'm not interested in selling anymore. I'd rather buy, and so I'm going to wait for. What am I going to wait for? I'm going to wait for prices to move above this, and I'm going to buy the demand that forms below price. But we go into the 15-minute. We can probably start to see. Yeah, we've got this here. This is nice. We'll leave that on there. Go back to the 1 hour or the 4 hour, and we'll wait. So this is interesting. It's too far away now. It's Friday, so there's no need to put it in. I'll leave that, and we'll wait and see what happens. Moving on. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. See, we're still waiting for price to come back to our entry, which has not happened. We still have this one as well. This looks kind of interesting. There's a lot of trading. I don't mind this necessarily, how price trades from below and then pops. So this is telling us that we have like new demand for the Swiss franc versus the Japanese yen. So this could be an interesting area as well. We could just go something like that. The price Actually, price did go to it, didn't it? Almost. No, we did not quite reach it. So we got close, and this is where we decided to turn. So we might never get down here, or rather, we might not get down there anytime soon. But we'll leave it in and we'll reassess. We'll see what happens when this happens. We've got something in here. It's been tested. We're having another go. What we want to do is we want price to do, and then go like that. So we'll wait. So maybe we can move this up here. So, but there's nothing to do for the time being. So we sit on our hands. We wait for price to develop. We'll leave it on the 4 hour so we can see the nitty gritty. Euro, Australian dollar. So I'm really keen on selling the euro. I'm just looking at places where we think this is going to happen. Okay, we're on the daily chart here. Actually, we had a loss here. We took a loss here. God. Okay, I thought this one here. This is just a clear pattern. The software thought here. The software was right. I was wrong. So London just opened. We went through, hit the entry, stopped me out, went to the software sell area, and then it moved away. So shame on me. So that was a really beautiful example. Wow, I really like it when it does that. I like it. I don't mind being wrong as long as there's a reason. And there was a reason for me being wrong here, and that was essentially the price. Where did it go to? Well, look here. The price came down, we went up, and then we left. So the area is from here up to here. Let's see where that goes. Probably a little bit above. Yeah, okay, a little bit above. So price went to here and it turned around. But yeah, it's amazing how accurate that is, especially as seen here on the daily chart. Anyway, so that was our second loss. Here we have the Euro Canadian dollar. Still waiting for price to come down here. We have this entry up here. It looks like a daily sell up here. Price did not quite get there. Maybe we'll get there next week. I hope we come down here before, so we can kind of have like a poke into here before price continues moving higher. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, we'll wait and see. This is mediocre interesting because there's a lot of trading throughout this area. So we'll see what happens. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna, it's Friday, close. I'll take that off. And I prefer this. I'm just gonna put this on. Okay. Actually, I'm just gonna leave it. It's just before the weekend. It's no need to get too excited. We'll go like that. Boom. We'll leave it. Okay. So we have our buy zone established. So next week we know what to do. So we'll come back to you later. Euro Swiss franc. Got this area here. On the daily, what's happening? Yeah, we've got a lot of. Oh, we have this one here, which is interesting. We also have this one here. This one is interesting. Tested, set on it, distribution, cut through, test the backside, departure. Price went through here, through the sell zone, up to the area of supply, and this is where it left from. Okay, currently price is doing this. Oh my goodness, look at that tiny little area. This is the daily chart, tiny little area. Price comes to that area. It doesn't even go through it, and then it just pops north. I mean, that's about a 7-to-1. Should you have taken that? Yeah, but we're waiting. You're Franc. Yeah, we're still waiting. Actually, this is what I was looking at, wasn't it? Here. Why did I move it down? I moved this down a little bit. So let's have a look why I did that. Yeah, I did it because of this. Price came up, price was pulled back a little bit, and then we left. The buy zone is established right there. Did we get there? No, we did not get there just yet. Let's have a look on the 30-minute and see. And this is the only one that's interesting here, just like the pullback and then the breakaway. So this is interesting. Yeah, so we'll leave that. Okay, for the time being, we'll put that back on the 4 hour. It's actually a daily entry. on the daily entry, on the daily chart, and we'll leave it at that. Sorry, it was a 4 hour, jumping all over the place like a confused person. All right, Euro, British pound, still waiting for price to come here. What's going on here? Not a lot of clarity here. 4 hour probably. Oof. Yeah, this is sweet. It's a nice departure. Got the other one down here, so we only have 2. Okay, we've only got 2 there. So I like that one there. Oh, that's nice there. So what I'm going to do, actually before we do anything, let's have a look at the news. Okay, so let's go here. Economic calendar. Coronavirus. Strange. Economic calendar. Here. Oops. Indonesia doesn't like Forex. Let me enable the VPN. Alright, refresh. Saat ini website dalam... Oops, okay, here. Let's see, we don't want none. Low. Let me close the door, but it's getting a bit windy. Okay, so Friday. You got some big numbers out of the US. Retail sales. And we have, consumer sentiment. Really big numbers, and these could be all over the place, so we've got to be careful. Okay, so big US news. We'll keep that in mind. Euro pound, this could throw the pound everywhere. How far away are we? Yeah, we're pretty far away. We'll leave that on there and we'll wait. I'm just going to go like this. An alarm, an alert, and then we'll wait. Because that's kind of close. But I like this because test, distribution, removal. Okay, so this is the source. This is the origin of that move. So that'd be really interesting, a nice spot to maybe have a small trade out of there. We'll leave that. Euro, Kiwi. Well, prices are here. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's see what we have. There's not a lot in there, is there, at all, actually? Yeah, we've got this as well, which I kind of like. Buy zone, right there on it. We got this one too. Price kind of went up, then came to it, and then left. So this is technically tested. Okay, this is technically tested. We're at the big figure, which is interesting. So we'll leave that there as well, and we'll see. This is technically a better area. I'm just going to go like this. All right, I'm back. My son just got home from camp, so that was lovely. Okay, so what are we doing here? Well, you can see here currently on the Euro Kiwi that we're testing this area. We're having another go, but it's not been removed yet. We have this upward sloping trend line, lower high, so I'm thinking price will probably begin to break down, and we'll probably have a bounce here, and essentially move down here and even lower. So we'll be looking to sell its supply once it's formed, just up here above price. Euro, Japanese yen. Well, this one's racing high because the yen is absolutely falling to pieces. They're having a lot of difficulties, liquidity issues in Japan, in the overnight market. So I think Japan will be the first country to go. But we'll have to wait and see. Things are looking pretty serious over there, rather up there from where I am. So we'll be looking to buy this just based on the fundamentals. I think it'll be this could be a really nice trade that you could hold for longer periods of time. So down here at the 140, I'd be super keen to buy. I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to put demand. We're going to buy at the 140. Now 3. The stop is 139. Now 8. Why are you not like 140.02? Okay, so we'll leave that on there. That'd be lovely. Just like we have like a gap in the weekend. That'd be quite nice. Okay, so that's what we have there. Sorry, my wife just came home now. Pretty busy here. The Euro American dollar. We got close, but no cigar. Buy zone. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Buy zone. Tested it. We didn't even get to demand. We just stayed at the buy zone. So price was happy. What does that tell us about this down here? It tells us that we're probably going to spike down here and race higher. So that might be a really interesting one to keep an eye out for. So that will happen maybe next week. Pound Aussie. Got this one here still. Go on the daily to see what's cooking there. You got this. Let's see what this looks like. Zoom out. Yes, we got this, which is looking interesting. This is also interesting. The reason I choose this one is because resistance. This is like the supply that removed the demand in here. Also, let's see where we are. Here. Yeah, so we're a little bit deeper than the 70, 50, 60, 70. That's a pretty interesting area. This is overlapping it beautifully. So anyway, we've got that. Below price we have this. I like this a lot. So I'm going to leave that on. Here we have the buy zone right there. Okay, this is clarity, this is chaos. And so we want to be below that. Nothing yet. Pound CAD. So we are still looking to wriggle north here on the pound CAD after that huge sell-off. Price inefficiency, liquidity void, rebalancing as expected. We have this one here. This is too close to price. It's the weekend, so we're not going to do it, but we'll leave that on. We'll see what happens once price gets there. Pound Japanese yen. So we had this little 30-minute area. We left that on. We didn't take it for whatever reason, I don't remember. And we got pretty close to our entry up here. Let's go to the 4 hour and see what that looks like. And here, we got pretty close to here. This is like where the sell zone is for this little area. Tested, haven't been able, kind of got close. We had a little poke up there before. We'll see. What is this? Pound Japanese yen. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, because we're close to the weekend, I'm just gonna do this. Close to the weekend. Just to leave that up there to remove a little bit of risk a little bit, and then we'll see what happens after the weekend. But I like this down here. Something tells me that there is, this is what that is. Lovely entry there. Boom, boom. Patterns like this, where price does this, goes down. We go up and down once or twice, and then go up. I mean, these are super good. So keep your eyes for those. When you see stuff like that, I mean, those are incredibly high probability entries, which is like the one we saw on the Euro Swiss franc that we missed by a pip. Exact same situation. Yeah, so they often work like this. So if you see something like that, just I'm just going to zoom in and show it to you really close. This right there. If you see this, I mean, this is a very high probability trade. So take those. Take those. Okay, so now you know what it looks like. Price went there and shot off like a rocket. Okay, cool. So pound Swiss franc. Let's go to the daily. Yes. Let that update there. Okay, so we have this. We have price was here. We came down here. We're up and kind of gave back a significant part of. See, the reason the software drew this here is because we had the lows. See, the swing, the origin of the move that caused price to go through. It's right here. This is where it broke. Slingshot down to the lows. Okay, so take this and go from here to here. went right to the 70%, and this is where we're having a bit of a breather for the time being. Okay, we formed this area of demand. I remember looking at this last week. And price came back, we went through it a tiny bit, and then we raced north. Okay, so let's have a look here. Yes, and here, see here and now, we have this area right here. It was tested once, twice, 3 times. We had this that formed below it. So I'm going to put a box on that. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Maybe today, maybe next week. It's too late in the week to do anything about that, so I'm just going to mark these off. These are all quite nice. The 1.1086, that's interesting because from here we moved above this, we moved this, and we moved above this high. So it's a pretty big deal actually. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Pound Kiwi, yeah, we're still in, we got it. This is one of the trades that we're in. We sold up here. Looks like a daily. Yeah, so I was actually looking up here and then I got in lower. Let me see why I got in lower. Now we can move over here and see what that looks like. Yeah, okay, so this is why we got in here. Because this is where the release point is. We got in very, very beautifully right there. And because we keep missing the entries, I moved it just below. Okay. And so this is where we got filled, and now price is kind of, now it's doing this, where we have, oh, I'm using my son's mouse and it's pretty fast. We've got this, we had a turning point in price. Price came up to it, we went down, up, down, we went through it, and now we're back here. So this could be a place we might want to get out of this trade. Okay, so it's the weekend, don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to close this one out right now. Okay, so that made up for about 1.5, it almost made up for both of those losses that we just took. Okay, that's the win. We could easily race back down here. I think we could. But because we have some American heavy hitting news later, I think we want to be a little bit careful. So just to get out of that, I think we'll probably move down to rebalance this. That would be very beautiful if we would do that. But yeah, you have to be careful and realistic. Okay, pound. Got this one here. Oh, this is lovely. We're waiting for price to come back to this. This is also nice. We just mark off the buy zone. Go boom, boom. Like that, tested, slingshot, departure. This is the demand there. This is the buy zone. Price comes back down here. We want to be short. We have this one just up here as well. This is also something similar where we have tests, test, distribution, test, and departure. Okay, so price is coming up here, the 119.20, that'd be pretty smoking. And so if we manage to fill here, maybe early next week, we could ride this one out to the highs here. But we have to wait, of course, and see what price looks like on its way up. But it doesn't look like we've formed any, excuse me, supply above price yet. So we'll wait and see. Kiwi, American dollar, still waiting, nothing to do. American dollar, Swiss franc. We've got this. This is the 30-minute chart. So we looked at this one here. Price came to it. We turned around. We had a really nice response there. We broke through it and we kind of sat on it. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? If you look at this, you really kind of do this. Test it again. Kind of move down. We move up through it. We kind of come right to it. Well, more or less. We don't manage really to close up below it, do we? Ugh. Kind of ugly. But we kind of focus ourselves around like this flip zone here. Oh, not a very beautiful Picasso, but you can kind of get the idea that, you know, resistance becomes support. Okay, and now we're doing that again right on that area. So it's kind of fascinating how that works. So this one's gone. We can remove that. Go to the daily chart. Excuse me. See where we are. Got this nice area here. Let's remove all these. These are gone. We have this, which was almost tested. Not quite, but it's technically tested, so we don't want to trade that one again. We'll watch as price visits that. Then we have kind of above these highs here. There will be liquidity expiration. It'll be running above these highs. But this is American cross. So we're going to have some news this afternoon, so super careful. We shan't touch that for the time being. This is really far away, so I'm just going to close that out. And revisit this pair next week. CAD Swiss franc. Go here, we zoom out. What do we have here? Not a lot, really. We have this up here, which is quite interesting. Here we have some tests at the area. Price finally manages to move through this area here, but it's not very clear on this price chart, so we go down until we find something that gives us a bit of clarity. Yeah, there's not a lot, is there? No, this is just too ugly. I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just going to leave it alone. Moving on. Silver. Oh, we got close. We'll leave that in there. American dollar. Ooh, we've got to be careful. We got some big news coming out. We got pretty close to it. We missed. But the big news, I don't like. Liquidity dries up in a situation like that, so you have to be super, super careful. Because they're on no, even though it's a really nice area, even, I mean, you look at this, you say, yeah, we got pretty close, so we could easily go down. We could easily go down, but we could also really go down. We don't know yet. So I'm just gonna remove this because the news just burnt my fingers way too many times to take chances. I think we'll probably be all right, but I don't know, it's speculation, so we'll leave that out and we'll wait for price. We'll just mark it off. Okay, and we'll wait and see what happens. Buy zone established right there. Price came to it. Next, this is the gold. Same kind of thing. We didn't put anything on there. We were hoping to have a reaction. I can see I had an alarm here. We're hopefully looking to see something here, but we didn't quite get there. We established the sell zone very, very clearly here. Okay, but we're yet to visit that area. But we have, as I saw earlier, dollar news coming out, so nothing to do. Okay, here we have, this is the American dollar index. We raced up to this area, got pretty close, and now we turned around. Let's wait and see what happens once this news comes out. There's nothing to do just yet. And here we have the S&P 500. Get pretty close to our area. Risk on, risk off stuff. We'll see what happens when when the data comes out of the US. Okay, good. Well, that was everything for the time being. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.